happened to the
Right. The next fighter we're going to rate on Boxing Bros is Danny Swift Garcia. And let's hope.
Oh man,
let's hope
about to get hot in here.
There's a lot of debates
that go on. My first hand, I love all y'all, man. It's all love. Let's
all right, Ned, Power, Danny Garcia. Let's go.
I rated Danny Garcia's power a 94. And he has great power. He has power in both hands. And what was it? The Porter, when he fought Porter, Porter was like goes low with his his style. And Danny was just hitting him, catching him, and he was just eating those shots. But those were real powerful shots. But I gave him 94 for his power.
All right, G.
I gave Danny Garcia 95. I think he's one of the hardest hitters in the welterweight division. Like what Ned said, he did rock Sean Porter with a left hook. He was the first man to drop the boogeyman Matisse. And I remember when he caught Morales with the left hook, and Morales did a tornado spin in the ring. So he definitely got that power. So 95.
All right, so I'm going to go, and Trill's going to go last. I rate Danny Garcia's power 98. And the reason why I rate Danny Garcia's power 98 is because I've seen him knock several people out with the left hook. Amir Khan, Eric Morales. Like I said, I've seen him knock a number of people out with the left hook, but I also seen him knock people out and knock people down with the right hand. Like how he just flatlined Brandon Rios with the right hand and how he stopped people in the tracks with the right hand. Danny Garcia is probably the only welterweight in the division that I feel like can knock you out with one punch from either hand. And that's why I rate his power 98. But lastly, the man has 6 toes. That's right. Danny Garcia has 6 toes. So he get the balance on them shots, okay?
I was saving that for footwork.
That's natural balance that he has the advantage on, okay? He didn't do anything. God gave him that natural balance to get in on that left hook and on that right hand. So 98, power for Danny Garcia. All right, Trill, what you got?
I got Danny Garcia. Listen, I'm gonna say it short and sweet. Danny changes people's career with his power. They are not the same. I repeat, people are not the same after they fight Danny Garcia. Go check every fighter after they fought Danny Garcia and see how they look like. That being said, I give him a 95. Danny changes lives with his power.
All right, 95 for power coming from Trill, which brings the tally to 96. Speed, Danny Garcia, Ned, what do you got?
I gave him a 91 for his speed. He has fast hands, elite speed, so he gets there. He'll hit you, he'll stun you with a shot, and then he'll bring the heat after. So I gave him 91 for his speed.
All right, 91. Let me write that in. All right, man. Ned said Danny Garcia, 91 for speed. G, what do you give Danny Garcia for speed?
I gave him an 87 for speed. Garcia is like the poster child of never hook with a hooker, right? He may not have like the fastest jab, but his hooks are pretty fast, especially in the process of you throwing. If he catches you, it's a problem. And Danny's one of the few that it's weird because his jab is so slow to me, but he could double hook with the left hand and connect. That's how fast his hooks are. But it's just when it comes to the straight punches, they're not as quick. So that's why I gave him an 87.
All right. I'm just happy that I didn't agree with G entirely because I gave him the 86. His hand speed is definitely not the fastest, but he's fast enough to compete and fast enough to land his shots. When we get to IQ, I think his IQ for timing people and landing the shots is what gets him over the hump. But in terms of hand speed, he's fast enough, but his hand speed's not top end. So that's why I give him 86. True? You're on mute, brother. You're on mute, brother.
I agree with everything that you just said. And I was going to mention the timing, but like you said, maybe that's more of an IQ thing. But Danny, listen, he's not the fastest guy in there, but he's been known to knock out the fastest guy in there. You know what I'm saying? So I give him a 90.
All right. So Danny Garcia speed 90 from Trill, which brings the total to 89. Stamina, Danny Garcia, Ned, what do you got?
I gave him a 95. Yo, Danny could go all 12 rounds. He could take you out early. You never see him winded. You never see him gas. And yeah.
Stamina, 95 coming from Ned. G, Stamina, Danny Garcia, what do you give him?
All right, this is where it's going to be controversial because, Ned, you're right. You don't see him gassed in the ring, but I think is the reason why is he doesn't throw as much as other top welterweights, and so because of that, I had to give him an 88 because his punch output isn't as high as everyone else. So yeah, I think that's the reason why he looks so fresh in the ring.
Well, let me show my score first. G gave him an 88. I gave him 94. I think Danny Garcia can go the distance, and he has gone the distance, and he has finished people early. He has the stamina to do whatever's required in the ring. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, and that's why I docked him. Although, in my opinion, the reason why he doesn't throw punches is because he's a counter puncher. It's particularly in his biggest fights with Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. He was looking to counter more, and he did counter Sean beautifully, might I add, and he landed 48% of his of his power punches, which in boxing, if you are a diehard, you know the saying, if you land 50% of your power punches, you what? You win the fight. Somehow Danny landed 48% of his power punches, rounded to 50 against Sean Porter, and lost the fight. You do the math on that. Now, I believe he's a counter puncher, and he looks to counter. And I also think that's to his detriment, but I think that's going to change moving forward. So, Trill, what do you give Danny Garcia for stamina?
All y'all bugging. I throw a flag on all y'all stamina. Danny Garcia is 100 on stamina. I'm not going to blame him for somebody running. Everybody, listen. Listen, you can't listen. His output is because he's putting them paws on him. You know what I'm saying? Listen, how you going to turn a running back into a boxer? Sean comes forward. He turns Sean into a boxer. You know what I'm saying? He had Keith running. You know what I'm not going to fault him for that. His output, because these guys don't want to throw hands with Danny. Because he got, listen, he's the next Roberto Duran, hands of stone. You know what I'm saying? You got to give Danny some props. I'm giving him 100 on stamina. I've never seen him tired. I seen Danny one time with his mouth open. That's because he had a busted nose and he was still pushing the action. I'm not going to fold him for these cowards. I'm not going to do it. I'm giving him 100 on stamina. Give him 100 on stamina.
Hey, argument, I agree. Hey. All right, Ned, Chin, Danny Garcia.
I gave him a 99 on chin. You never seen Danny get rocked either. Yo, the boy got power and he got a solid chin. So 99. Not much you can say about it.
All right, G.
Yeah, I gave for chin. I gave him a 97. I've never seen him knocked down. And I've seen him with some good punches. Like again, Matisse was that boogeyman back then, and I seen Garcia take straight rights and left hooks in that fight, and he ate them things like Scooby snacks. I remember like in the later rounds against Lamar Peterson, like Danny, like he took clean left and right hooks. Like I'm telling you, I was like, damn, Danny looking hurt. Like his face was battered up. And like he didn't look stunned. And I think the one time when I was like, whoa, this might be it for Danny was like the first and the third round of the Thurman fight. I seen Thurman like hurt Danny, you know, and again, Danny never fell. So this dude definitely got like a concrete chin. So 97.
Yo, I just don't know if Danny doesn't get 100 for chin. I don't know who does, bro. Like every
listen,
every
flag on the play.
every other welterweight I've seen in compromising positions and hurt, way more hurt than I've ever seen Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is the only person, the only fighter who's been in the ring with the type of competition he's been in, and I haven't seen him fall. I haven't seen him wobble. Like, I haven't seen Danny and was in fear, like, oh my God, hold on. I've never seen Danny and yelled that out for every other fighter I have. So I just think if Danny doesn't deserve 100 for chin, I don't know who does. Like,
listen, I'm just going to add on to that. Each one of you brothers need to do your score over. The reason why I said this, because y'all didn't say one bad thing. I think Danny deserves 100 on chin. Y'all each said the same exact thing, that y'all never seen him rocked, you've never seen him hurt, but still didn't give him 100. I don't know why is that, but I give Danny Garcia 100.
They show their point bias. G has a -3 bias for Danny, and Ned has a -1. So that's what
I don't have no point bias, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, why did you take the 3 points away?
Because I said he did get hurt by Thurman, and he did get hurt by Lamar Peterson.
Hold on. When I mean by hurt, right? Like, I've never seen Danny hurt. I've never seen him do the stinky leg. I've never seen him go down. You know what I'm saying? He took a good shot. You know what I'm saying? That was a clear good shot. But as far as getting hurt, I mean hurt. Doing the stinky leg and all that. I've never seen it.
I didn't say he did that. You know what I mean? So, I see what y'all are saying. It's again, remember how I do mine.
I know he's looking for a reason to take points.
I'm not against 100. Like 100, it's cool. Like I remember I gave him a 97. Ned gave him a 98. Like 99. We're not that far off from 100.
They gave him a 99. But here's why people
99. You know
why people have beef with the way you scored, G. You're basically penalizing Danny Garcia because he got punched in the face.
No.
That's bro. Like, you penalize Pac-Man because of a tweet that he don't even control. You're
listen. I admitted I forced it with the Pacquiao thing on social media. Y'all didn't even count that, man. Relax.
You picked Keith Thurman to beat Manny Pacquiao. Ned wanted the people to be reminded of that.
I'm like, all right, Thurman, you played me, man. I was I already apologized.
Did you see in the Keith video how they threw that in for you?
I had to. I had to
begging for my turn to come back. I don't want that hot seat, man. For real.
All right, so chin is 99. Ned, what do you give Danny Garcia for footwork?
I gave him a 90, and that's because he couldn't catch the track star, Keith Thurman. When Keith Thurman was running laps, Danny was 2-3 steps behind him. So, yeah.
All right, 90. G?
All right, man. Listen here. Let me explain before I give my number. Oh, Lord. All right. So, all right. Danny obviously has good feet positioning for his power shots. So that's a plus. And I think we could attribute it to his 6th toe, right? However, Danny is too flat-footed for my liking, And on top of that, he's admitted it himself on a few interviews where he said he blamed his diet in the process of losing weight for the fights. That's why, it's hard for him to chase after guys and things of that nature. But I think his inactivity in the ring is used against him. And so he needs to learn how to cut off the ring better. He doesn't necessarily do that. And then on top of that, I kind of understand his excuse. However, Spence is another big welterweight who's actually bigger than him, who also has a hard time dropping weight, and he still is more active in the ring than Danny Garcia. So because of all of that, I gave Danny an 80 for footwork.
All right. For me, I'll go to, so put in G's 80. I gave Danny a 90. My only beef with Danny and his footwork is the way he cuts off the ring. But he showed great boxing ability. Against Matisse, he showed great boxing ability. And he showed the ability to utilize footwork at times against a number of fighters. So I'm not going to sit there and say, and even against Sean Porter, I feel like he demonstrated solid footwork. But there are times when I feel like he needs to cut off the ring and he doesn't do it effectively. So that's why I docked him to 10 points. But you also have to take into consideration that he needs to deliver counter punches and power punches. And his footwork is always in place for him to land that devastating punch that send people night-night. So I got to take that in consideration, and I think 90 is where his footwork is at. True?
I agree with everything you said. I gave him a 90 also. We all know Angel got the best feet work in the family. He's the best dancer in the family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Crazy Angel.
Angel, that dude. That's the man.
He's the best dancer in the family.
88 for footwork for Danny Garcia. Hart. Ned.
Inside the ring, I give his Hart a 99. Outside the ring, 8 years ago, there was a sparring footage out there of Danny Garcia and Peanut live. And back in Philly. Y'all guys got to look this up. Peanut took this man's belt after he bashed him in the ring. So, Danny, we ain't forget about that one. We ain't gonna forget about that one. But I give him a 99 in the ring, 85 outside the ring. Don't make us run the clip, Daddy.
No, I just have a question. So, are you implying that, professionally?
If you see the footage, it's just a funny footage. It's just like it's parody, but I'll just throw that in.
Oh, you talking about the puppet Peanut? You had me really thinking about the thing. Oh,
I was trying to figure out what the heck he was talking about.
yeah.
And I was going to ask him, are you on drugs? But I just, all right, cool, whatever. All right, 100.
Yeah.
Man, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, man. Yo, listen, get your flags ready, man. I'm sorry. I gave him 100 for Hart. You know what I mean?
Hey!
That's Steve's first
Hey!
Listen, man,
I was worried he was about to really panic, man.
Listen, I have to keep it 100, man. He calls out the biggest names and he takes the biggest fights. And he comes to the ring every fight to bang, never to run. That's 100 in my book.
Well, for me, I think there's no doubt about it. Danny Garcia, 100. I mean, Trill pointed it out. He's chasing these fighters around the ring. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Listen. All right, bear with me. G, let me hold this. Walk with me.
As long as you give him 100, we can walk.
I'm definitely giving him 100.
All right, word.
I'm definitely giving 100. First off, I don't know how anybody in their right mind can call Danny Garcia a cherry picker. He has the best resume in boxing other than Canelo. From the time he fought Nate Campbell until now, except for the exception of Rob Silker, Danny has fought all top-tier opposition. People are going to say he lost to Herrera. Herrera was fighting a beautiful fight, but started to slow down and let Danny creep back in with those vicious body shots. Sean Porter, everybody please. If you think Sean Porter won, tell me why. And I judge the fight by clean, effective punches, not just by swinging wildly. You know what I'm saying? Using the windmill. Watch it with no volume on and without no biased commentary and with no biased heart. I guarantee you'll come up with a different outcome. And you'll definitely probably have Danny winning 2 to 3 points. Now, the key fight, I think that, I'm being honest, I think that none of these guys deserve to lose. I watched the fight 3 times and I still keep getting a draw. I thought Keith would have won, but he ran and gave the rounds away. And I also think Angel cost him that fight with the stuff that happened outside the ring. Danny has showed nothing but elite level heart. The fact that he doesn't get the respect that he deserves and people have the nerve to call him a cherry picker, time after time he has went out there and he has fought the top tier, and I can only think of one cherry pick, if you can even call it that. Because sometimes these fighters fight back to back to back and they kill themselves. But I'm going to go into something, that's for something later. I give Danny Garcia heart. That boy is all heart.
All right, so 100.
Sorry for my rant.
It's all good, man.
I actually respect
it.
Brother rant home. You know what I mean?
Ned, IQ for Danny Garcia.
I gave him a 92. Danny's a smart fighter. He's a counter puncher. He knows how to set things up. And what more else is there to say?
92 from Ned. All right, G.
All right. Y'all have to walk with me on this one.
I'm gonna walk with G, though. I'm sick of walking with G.
Well, listen. All right. Danny has great defense. He's a great counter fighter, and he has excellent timing. Now, this is where I start deducting points. He has real difficulty cutting off the ring. The examples are the Lamont Peterson fight and the fight in Puerto Rico against how you say his name? Herrera. Those two, I was like, oh man. But he has this reoccurrence in most of his fights. His punch output needs to be increased, right? He constantly gets penalized by judges for inactivity. And I understand people are like, well, people are running from Danny. However, Danny has to find a way to stop them from running. And now this is where I get a little petty, you know what I mean? But I have to do this. At the end of the 12th round in the Thurman fight, you know, the bells ring. Thurman's raising his hands like, I won. Danny just walks humbly to his corner. Angel Garcia is the one who told Danny, yo, what are you doing? Raise your hands, right? And to me, it's kind of like, yo, it's just those little things that fighters do, like Tyson Fury does stuff like this, to kind of sway judges. Danny needs every inch he could take, especially in these close fights with top-tier fighters. And in another time that I was like, oh, come on, Danny, what's wrong with you? Was at the end of the Lamont Peterson fight, right? When he won by decision, he literally goes up to Lamont Peterson while the cameras is rolling and tells Lamont Peterson on camera, I lost. Literally, quote, I lost. It's stuff like that I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Like, even though the fight was already over, he should have known I'm not going to do that because that could cost him later. You know, it's like little stuff like that I feel like Danny's kind of giving judges reasons to penalize him long-term and stuff like that. So I had to give Danny an 83 for boxing IQ.
I mean, you said so much rubbish that whole time that, like, you know.
I don't think it's rubbish because think about it. Look at all the decisions. Look at all the fights where he loses. And what's the number one reason that people have with him? He's not cutting off the ring and he's not throwing enough punches. And it happens all the time. So after a while, you have to say, hey, you know what? I got to change.
To me, you're saying he said he went to Lamont Peterson and said I lost. I didn't see that.
No, look it up. I'm not even playing with you.
And so you're saying that. I
ain't gotta believe. Yo, listen, audience. Y'all just look it up yourself.
And then you're saying he didn't look like he won the fight after. But you know who didn't look like they won the fight? At the end of the fight, Deontay Wilder at the end of Wilder Fury 1. when they announced the draw, Wilder was happy and Fury was upset. Know that he tapped that behind. Like, this is what I'm saying. But you didn't mention that against Wilder. You didn't hold that against Wilder. But here you are again holding other fighters to standards you don't hold your king to. But
Nah. That does not apply. Listen.
It does. I want to show everybody something though. I don't know if can y'all see this phone?
It's too bright.
Too bright.
No, your screen's too bright for reflect. Your computer screen's reflecting off the screen.
Oh, hold on. I mean, maybe I could share it, but it's just
we all know what you're about to show. I know what you're about to show. That was after the Sean fight.
Sean thought he lost.
Nah, there was the ref was about to go raise Danny Garcia's hand.
Well, similar. All right, so hold on. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Let me just pull it up. What time is this? Because, like, this you could say that like, oh, Danny's doing this or whatever, but it's one thing to say it. I didn't recall Danny saying that he lost. You can, while we're doing this, you can try to find that.
I don't recall him saying that either. Maybe he did, but I don't recall him ever saying that.
I got you.
Hold on. It's already set up like that. All right, so I'm about to share the screen. Now, you guys remember all the memes that were going around. They were like, oh, Steve Willer's face when Danny Garcia was hitting Sean Porter. Keep your eyes on the ref as they announce. All you need to know, man. Yo, that dude cannot hold his emotions. If someone gets hit with a good shot, he's always like, ooh. That guy, when they announced that Sean Porter won, the third man in the ring was like, come on. That's all I got. I mean, come on, man. Stop it. Stop it, man. So, Ned, you gave him a 92.
Yeah.
Go back here.
Gave him 83. 83.
For Danny Garcia and his boxing IQ, I gave him a 90. Because for me, boxing IQ isn't what you do at the end of a fight, what you say at the end of a fight. It's your knowledge on how to win a fight during the fight. And what Danny Garcia shows is timing. His timing is the best in the welterweight division. Nobody lands shots clean like Danny Garcia. And we're talking about a guy who we're saying doesn't have elite level speed, but he lands punches where he's getting his entire body into him. He's throwing KO punches, and he seems to hit Showtime Sean Porter with 48% of the power punches he threw. Did Earl Spence do that? No. Look at how comfortable Sean Porter was in the ring with Earl Spence. Was he that comfortable in the ring with Danny Garcia? No. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, IQ, if you say he can't cut off the ring, if you say he doesn't utilize the jab enough, if you say he lets people steal rounds because he doesn't throw enough punches in critical moments, good arguments. What he says at the end of a fight, how he looks at the end of a fight.
How about this? Kato, remember, I said I was being petty at the end when I brought those two examples up.
Well, Lord,
I did say my main focus was he doesn't cut off the ring enough, and he's inactive. He doesn't throw enough punches. Those were my two biggest gripes.
And that's what I said was legit. I give you those points because I agree with those points. But what I can't agree with is the way he looks when they read off a decision. I mean, like, that's me, but
no. I'm saying with the Thurman thing, it was like literally, when like the bell just rings, right? So now the judges are actually, scoring. What this Keith Thurman does, beats on his chest, start waving, showing, like going around, doing his lap around the ring, saying like, yeah, I'm the one who just won this round. That actually sways judges. We know that, and so
that doesn't sway judges. You think when someone gets punched in the face and then they go, that sways the judges when you say he didn't really hit me.
Hold on, fellas. We see some wild judging on a lot of fights, we're like, what fight are they seeing, right? So all of that plays a factor. You know what I mean? Like, again, this is chess, not checkers. How you look, how you present yourself. If you just raise your hand and cheer, all of that stuff. You know, and think about this. Why do fighters always do that then? When they go like, nah, that didn't hurt me. Because they're trying to front like, yeah, that's nothing to me, right? And that has to sway certain judges. Not all, but some. I'm just saying
Like the fighters are doing it to sway the other fighter to say
that too. But it's a number of things. Like remember, like the fact like Porter was like, hey, you know what? I position myself at certain angles, so I know I'm not even landing punches, but the judges think I am. When a person says that, yo, to me, it's like, yo, that's a good argument. That's a good strategy, you know. So to me, that's boxing IQ. When you're in the ring, right, and you're not throwing as many punches, even if you're the one that's saying like, come on, fight me, after a while, that could work for 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights. But if it's a constant like theme with you, and then even you yourself are saying like, yeah, you know what, yo, it's due to the fact that I be drained when I'm trying to lose weight to make weight for the fights, you know, but I'm improving, this and the third. Once you say that type of stuff, I'm like, come on, bro, you know. So I hear what y'all are saying. But I don't know. I just feel like he needs to come up with a new strategy because he's losing close fights because of this, because of inactivity and the fact that he's too flat-footed.
Yo, everything you say, right? I could flip it to another fighter who you don't penalize for. But just for the sake of time, I won't even do that. It's just too easy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hop in there. I'm just gonna say, my beef with Danny Garcia is him starting too late. I see in a number of fights, Danny seems to me to start late, and I think he ends up playing catch up in a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? And people tend to, you know, think that he's losing because he's playing catch up. But nah, I give Danny a 90. My only beef with Danny, and it's outside the ring, his IQ outside the ring, diluted decency. Him thinking that Al Heyman is his friend. Him and his father Angel always praising Al Heyman like Al Heyman is his friend. Al Heyman doesn't look like at you as his friend or like you're one of his fighters. He has put you in dangerous fight after dangerous fight after dangerous fight. Look at Danny's record. He's always put Danny in there like he was trying to make Danny lose. That's not somebody that has your best interest. The only problem is Danny didn't concede to those plans. He kept winning. And all this time he kept winning, y'all kept praising Al Heyman. That's not your guy. You know what I'm saying? That's not your guy. I mean, that's my only beef with his diluted decency.
More for him than Oscar De La Hoya.
What you say?
I said Al Heyman did much more for his career than Oscar De La Hoya with Golden Boy.
No, when you talk about is Oscar's the reason why he was in. He got Nate Campbell. He became champion. He became champion under Golden Boy. That Morales fight was under Golden Boy.
Remember what Angel and Danny was saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's diluted decency with these guys.
Nah,
they thinking because they listen, they got the most money that they ever got before, right? Mm-hmm. But look at the fighters that they had to fight. They had the toughest road to get that bag than any other welterweight under Al Heyman's tutelage or under his banner. He has had the hardest road to get that bag than everybody else under that PBC banner. Trust me.
Porter's resume is
so here's what I'd say to you, right? When you win the title by fighting someone who was knocked out by a journeyman or someone who was below a journeyman in the 4th round, that's you being handed a title. You have to look at Danny Garcia and where he built his name was he was fighting Amir Khan, and he was the underdog. They threw him in with Amir Khan to lose. They didn't throw him in with Amir Khan to win.
Not big facts.
And so he had to earn his rep. And you got guys like Terrence Crawford who had to earn their rep. Even when you look at Floyd Mayweather and what he accomplished in the sport, believe it or not, there was a time when Shane Mosley was viewed as that guy. Shane Mosley had 33 wins, 31 knockouts, and he was on Jay Leno, and he was on the Conan O'Brien show, and he had the eyes, and he was the guy they liked, and he was the guy they was pushing. And Floyd was begging these guys for fights. So Danny earned his and stepped in the ring with Keith Thurman, a guy who, like his level of competition wasn't that difficult, and he ran. I don't want to stay on it too long, but I will say this: like, if you're calling Danny Garcia a cherry picker, if you're saying anything about Danny Garcia, go look at his resume and go watch the fights.
Ever since he went in there and he fought, even when he fought Ashley Therapane was getting more love than him. I'm talking about even when he fought Morales. This was for Morales, a showcase for Morales. That's why they even had the rematch, because they thought the first one was a fluke. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And Morales was on the juice the second time.
And Danny said, "I'll still fight him."
I still fight him. Yep. And spun him around with that left hook. Danny was put in there to lose on a number of occasions. The Martise fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was throwing in there to lose the American.
I was in the crib with people who thought Matisse was going to take Danny out. Matisse just knocked this dude out. I think it was Peterson. He just beat, I think it was Peterson. And Complex was sitting right next to me. Look at Danny looking scared. Look at Danny looking scared. I'm like, are you kidding me? He was like a dude who's at a fight. I told him, yo, Danny's going to chew this bum up. Like, what are you talking about? And of course, if Complex picks him, that's a death blow right there. Anyway, right, what I'm trying to say to you, you can jump back in, Trill. It's just
yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've never heard people say that Danny Garcia is a cherry picker.
Are you kidding? That's his name, Danny Cherry Picker Garcia.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know how dudes can say that with the level of competition that he's faced, but I guess. I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy to me.
They throw this guy in, and he just keeps winning. Even in the fights that he's lost, watch those fights and tell me who you rather be. Tell me who you rather be.
So, you know, even after, who would you rather be?
I like
you know what I'm saying?
Earlier, right? Because me personally against Thurman, right?
Sean Porter had a hematoma after that fight.
Yeah, but like I had Thurman winning. I had it like 115, 113 in favor of Thurman. But I'm not mad at a draw. Like I could see a draw in that fight. But again, it's like it's weird because the welterweight division, the ones that are on top, their styles are so different from each other, right? So then it goes, if you're a judge, it's pretty much what you favor in a fighter, you know? And at times that could work against Danny Garcia. So he has to develop a different strategy when going up against these guys because they're always going to be like, oh, he's not doing enough, so he's going to lose the round. You get what I'm saying? And then that, to me, is like, I get it. I see what y'all are saying. Yeah, they're running. But, yo, cut off the ring. Make sure they don't run. You know what I mean?
Listen, that fight, to me, was reminiscent of De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. That was that reminiscent to me of that fight. And you mean to tell me that they gave that to Trinidad and they're not going to give that to Danny?
I got another one for you. Izani Lara versus Canelo Alvarez. There's precedent in boxing. You got two champions in that ring. Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. And you're going to beat Felix Trinidad by running from him for the last 4 rounds? No, you lose. Izani Lara, Canelo Alvarez. You're going to beat Canelo Alvarez by running from him for the last 4 rounds? No, you lose. But somehow when it was Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, the precedent and the rules.
And that was politics. That was politics outside the ring when they tried to play the whole racism card with Angel Garcia and all that. Danny needed to knock him out like he did Amir Khan that fight.
And then to top it off, they don't want to give Danny a rematch, those guys. Here's another thing about Danny, and I don't want to keep, because I feel like this is already long because I can't even see the time. But when Danny beats someone, they're a bum. When Danny beat Matisse, he's a bum. Then someone else beats him after, and it's a great win. Danny knocked out Amir Khan, and years later, and a few knockouts later, or at least a knockout for sure later, Terrence Crawford beats him, and Terrence Crawford gets credit for that.
I don't know, man.
Canelo did it. Canelo got more credit.
After him. I know. Danny did it. Canelo did it after him. Canelo got credit. Then TC did it after him. But when Danny did it, it was a cherry pick. Yo, stop it. Matisse, when Danny did it, we're coming off of one of his best performances. Then Pacquiao, other people do it, then it's cool. But when Danny does it, it doesn't matter. Like when
Martise was the boogeyman.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's when I became a fan of Danny Garcia, because I thought he was gonna be food for Matisse.
I know I was
the overall.
Yeah, I think I was at your spot. Yeah,
I know you, Complex, and all of you minuscule boxing observers watched that fight and turned to me like, "Oh, Danny's done. Danny's done." And I looked at y'all and said, "Y'all look insane."
Yo, but you see, this is the thing about me. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm like, all right, yo, you got that, yo.
But when you're wrong a lot, you get used to it.
Yeah, what you laughing at? What you laughing? Oh, all right then.
Watch him,
Hey, Dad, you on a win streak, man.
I'm on a win streak, man. Check my record.
Don't let us check your logic.
Hey, man.
Now you my
Hey,
biz.
man.
You my biz. Yeah.
Hey, I'm done, man. Oh, we got to get the total. The total is in. The total is in on Danny Swift Garcia, and it's overall maybe controversial to some. 94.
Oh, yeah,
but if you know boxing, it won't be controversy to none.
Here's all I got. Here's what I have to say about the situation. Somebody beat him convincingly. For me, then, since he's such a bum, right, and he's such a cherry picker, he'd been in there with Keith Thurman. That was a split decision. He didn't do it conventionally, and Sean Porter got a close decision where the referee was about raised and then raised his hand because the referee knows who really won that fight. So someone beat Danny for me, please, and then I'll be okay with it. Until then,
Rico beat Danny.
Huh?
Puerto Rico beat Danny. What's his name? Herrera.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Bro,
No,
he won that one.
No, he didn't.
That to me was clear.
Yo, respectfully, G, if I agreed with anything you ever said about scoring fights or whatever, fine. I don't. So, like, nothing you say to me. Like, in fact, this complex is down here and you right here.
You forced it.
I'm saying.
Please like and subscribe.
Hey, this is all on camera. All our own predictions. See who's right and see who's wrong. We've done about, 18, 20 predictions? Out of all of them, I only got, 3 wrong? So, G's percentage on the other hand.
Please like and subscribe, everybody. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Tell us how you feel about the ratings. It's the Boxing Bros.
This was a good one.
We been feeling like we're gonna fight you.